Cards in my hand, got the world in a spin. Javon's knife flicks, let the show begin. Every move sharp like the edge I hold. Stories untold, sharper than gold. Flick life, twist life, every frame tight. Knives on the screen, cutting through the night. Subscribers piling up like stacks on stacks. Javon's in the zone, ain't no turning back. Clicks and views, yeah, they fly like sparks. Knives in the dark, carving out my mark. From ballad songs flipping to the sickest tricks. Javon's knife flicks where legends are lit. Every video's fresh like a polished blade. Precision and grind, that's how dreams get paid. Cutting through limits, breaking the streak. Javon on the rise, every fan's heartbeat. From tutorials fire to unboxings insane. Content so slick you won't leave the lane. Blood, sweat, crisp, stealing every flick. And Javon's world sharp is the only pick. Flick life, twist life, every frame tight. Knives on the screen, cutting through the night. Subscribers piling up like stacks on stacks. Javon's in the zone, ain't no turning back.
Went out because we left a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna want to make it. Are you high on cigarettes? Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke 'em, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him with a few. He's getting higher on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes.
Lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharpened, Friday night.
Knife flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide.
The craft with steady flow. Steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show.
Knife flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide.
Karambit steel. Every flick has that cool appeal. The chat goes wild when he reveals.
As a past Olympic champion, I keep myself in top physical condition. And as a professional race car driver, I keep my car in top condition too. That's why I support Smog Check, California's vehicle inspection program. By the year 1987, it's estimated that Smog Check will help reduce the amount of auto pollution in the air by as much as 25%. That'll help us all breathe a lot easier. And when your car is producing less pollution, it's probably getting better gas mileage and performing better. The average cost of a Smog Check inspection is only $20. If your vehicle does need repair and the smog equipment has not been tampered with, you will not be required to spend more than $50 on repairs. Call this toll-free number for more information about Smog Check. Be good to yourself.
What is up, guys? I hope y'all can hear me. I hope y'all can see me. It's a little bit early, but not as early as I hoped. And you let me know if you hear incessant meowing in the background, because we're at a standoff. I'm not letting her back out because it's the 4th and she's wanting out. Oh, does she want out? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day, a fantastic 4th. I hope y'all have big plans. I really hope you're able to hang out here. But if you've got big plans and you're blowing stuff up, try to keep all your fingers. What is it? Stop, drop, and roll should you get ignited. All the other safety stuff. Just look out for each other and look out for yourself, especially if you're out there blowing stuff up. I figure I've made it survive this long. I don't have the urge to blow stuff up. Not necessarily. I don't miss it. Angelo was here earlier, channel member. What's up? We got Marco was in the house early. This is way before I started. Colby in the house. Brother Burnt Relic in the house. Miss Kathleen Smith, channel member. Good to see you, young lady. Happy 4th of July to you. Happy 4th of July to Brother Richard Hopkins, channel member, man, the myth, the legend, huge contributor of the channel. That's where all the fixed plays come from that you guys have been getting, if you've been getting them in the members giveaways. Awesome guy. Always here. Good to see you, Richard. Hope you're having a great day. Hey Man is here. What's going on? Hey Man. Welcome, brother. Happy 4th of July to you. Happy Independence Day. The day the Declaration of Independence was ratified, I guess, which was our final stick it to the king. Turn the colonies into states, I think. I'm not a history buff by any means. Something like that. But it's great to see you guys that are here. I figure it'll be a low turnout tonight. Henry G is here because it's the 4th of July. I was always going to go live because I didn't have plans. And I like hanging out here with you guys, like Paul Mills, channel member, my buddy. Good to see you, Paul. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope I'm not too loud. I hope I'm not too quiet. Y'all just kind of have to let me know because my headphones don't always give me the truth. Bama fans in the house, and I hope I'm not scrolling over anybody because I am kind of scrolling. Happy 4th of July to you, buddy. War Eagle to you. Friendly Roll Tide, but I have a hard time saying that anymore. It doesn't roll off the tongue like it used to when I was a kid. Again, I was fully entrenched in the Crimson Tide for, 12 years? 12 grades at least. And then I ended up going to that other school in Alabama. And it just changed you. See, Tippy's going to now come and try to fuck with all my stuff. I apologize for that. Mister's in the house. What is up? I've heard a few. I haven't heard them like normal, but I think my immediate neighbors are older guys and gals. Uh-oh, across the soundboard, we got problems. Can y'all still hear me? Sorry about that. But yeah, I don't think I have a lot of kids around me because usually they start blowing up while it's still daylight and it's almost dark and I haven't heard anything close. Now, off in the other neighborhood or further down, I'm definitely hearing some, it doesn't sound like a war zone though. And Alabama is one of those states where they sell a ton of fireworks. Geek Machinist channel member is in the house. Hope you're having a good day, buddy. Neil McKenzie's in the house. Channel member America Day. I should have had the Team America song all keyed up. What Geek Machinist share with me here? I've got to go to this other chat where I can actually click a link. Tippy, All right, guys. I'm about to have to, I don't want to abuse the cat, which I never would do. We're about to have a serious conversation because I'm not trusting her. She's doing the, I'm going to just mess with you. Getting emails and it's making my phone, which is my camera over there, sound funky. I can hear something through it. Hey, Maxilla, welcome, buddy. Good to see you. Pretty soon she'll start knocking knives off. You'll see that. That's one of her acts that she likes to do, and she's adamant on getting her way. But she'll howl for a little while longer. Gonzo, my buddy, long time no see. Good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome, Gonzo. I've said hey to everybody. I'm still scrolling. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. I didn't have anything really going on. I didn't, like I said, I'm just past going to watch stuff blow up. I figured I'd get some fireworks in the background. I can even change that up halfway through the show. They changed StreamYard all up. So I've got different controls that are like, we'll see how it works. I'm excited about it. I like diving into the unknown. And tonight's going to be one of those. I can tell you, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be event filled. We're going to look at some cool stuff. I don't know if y'all have been following the DLT. Oh, Tippy's in. That's why she's right now, Richard, so upset because she wants to go back out. She usually comes in for good on a normal night, and she just lays on the porch normally, but at 9. But I'm not letting her out, and that's why she's tearing up stuff and jumping on the soundboard to do stuff like this and just moving levers. And she'll jump up, and I've got a Starbucks right here that's off camera, so she'll probably get over here and try to knock that off, but it's part of it, right? I try to keep them in, and I lost my German Shepherd like 2 years ago, and then I'll quit talking about random stuff and we'll talk knives. But when she was still alive, it was so, because they've grown up together their whole lives, but it was so wild because she was terrified of noises, terrified of thunder. Firecrackers freaked her out. So literally I would have to, I don't know, like if there were fireworks, which I can't hear any now, she would literally be at my feet shaking, or she'd be trying to hide somewhere. And Tippy, it's never bothered. Go do fireworks, Maxilla. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Keep all your fingers close to you. Don't do anything crazy. Be safe and have fun. Happy 4th, half empty. What is up, buddy? Independence Day it is. It is Independence Day. It is Friday. I haven't gotten really, Marco, what's up, brother? I haven't gotten any really new knives in except one I want to show you guys. Hey, it's Dwayne Letterman. What is up, Dwayne? Happy 4th of July, brother. But I have gotten one in that I want to talk to you guys about and show you that I'm really stoked about. And trying to think what else. I think I've got a couple of things that I'm working on trying to get sent here. I know I'm going to get to look at when somebody finishes with it. I'm going to get to show you guys the new EMP EDC Nimble X. I've got the old Nimble X. These are all USA made knives. But as you guys know, I like all knives, and I'm a huge fan of John and Jamie and EMP EDC. So this is my Nimble X, which is my full-size Nimble. They had 2 blade shapes. I picked this one because it was different than the standard Nimble. I wanted it to be a little bit different. But they've got a Nimble X V2 that I'm going to get to check out and do a video on. So I'm excited about that because I get content constipation if I'm having to come up with something to make a video on, because I try to put out one video a day, at least one a day. Sometimes I'll do a maintenance video or something weird like that. But usually I like to at least do one a day. And to let you know, when I talk about content constipation, tomorrow's video, I don't know what it is yet. I've got an idea that it's probably going to be this. That was a gift to me from Richard Hopkins. And I've got the full size of this is a Shed Knives little mini Skur. Hollow grind, very deep hollow grind. It's an overbuilt small knife, but it's very practical for what people like me, urban city guys, use for EDC. So this will probably be the review tomorrow. I've carried it around quite a bit where I can't really carry my Skur 1. Whoops, Hippie tried to stab herself. Good thing you didn't walk into that. What is it? Sorry, guys. See, she thinks she should be out in the fireworks, and she's going to try to show me how horrible it's going to be if I don't let her out. And it's going to be one of those kind of mental arm wrestling things. So That's why I look over my shoulder to make sure she's not starting a fire. She had some arson problems when she was younger. But as long as she doesn't have access to matches, a ferro rod, or the resources to make a bow and something, because she's very good with fire. But she seems to have curbed that edge and not be as upset. So the coolest thing that I've gotten in a long time is this knife right here, which is my nimble. I just put up a nimble. See, that's how brain dead I am, because I'm having to look over my shoulder. This is the Neutron 2, or the N2F, which stands for Neutron 2 frame lock. So it's exactly proportionately like my Nimble 1. The one thing that's changed is they've upgraded the pocket clip, changed it, should I say, to be more like a bulldog clip, which is recessed, which actually works better. It's easier to manipulate, goes in and out of pocket fine. But instead of being the old traditional liner lock, it is now a frame lock, or it's going to be available as a frame lock. And what's really, and this is going to sound cheesy, but what's really been enjoyable about this particular knife is I had a choice between, I think, regular and coarse G10, and I didn't know what coarse or rough G10 was going to be, but I got it, and I'm glad I did, because this is some of the nicest feeling. She's over there knocking stuff off the counters, guys. Hold on a second. I need a water gun. I might have to get my bug zapper. It's not electric. It just shoots salt. But I think if I hit her with a load of salt, she's trying to, hold on 1 second. I apologize, guys. She's acting up. I'm sorry, guys. But anyways, so it's flat, not contoured. But I don't know if y'all have felt Emerson's G10. This is coarser than the Emerson G10. And I really like it because it does not feel uncomfortable. It just feels very grippy. Again, it's a thin knife. It's actually a little bit thinner than the liner lock, which did surprise me. I expected the frame lock to be a little bit thicker. But then when you look at how the liner lock is built with liners and with scales, it does make sense that they could keep this thinner all together. What I have not tried yet is to see if the scales are interchangeable with the Neutron scales. I still have a couple of scales for my Neutron. You just use one of the two. But it's a great little knife. This is TRM has always been my favorite USA manufacturer on this Independence Day, because I like more of a, dainty's the wrong word, but more of a just slicey little knife. Not as much of a hard use knife. I love hard use knife too, so I'm not by any means opposed to a hard knife. But for most of the needs that I have for my urban EDC, TRM has been fantastic. I've been a huge fan. I think I have every TRM that was in production except their first knife that they had before the Atlas. I only found pictures of it on Reddit. And when I talked to Miss Halliburn, the owner, one of the owners, the co-owner, she told me that knife was when they were still doing a whole bunch of, and they still are doing a lot of component sales to knife companies in the US. A lot of them buy a lot of the titanium parts and things like that from Three Rivers Manufacturing. But so she said that they just done a few. Tenable has been killing it, Geek Machinist. One of my top blade show finds. I don't know if you're talking about Tenable Knives Kansept's Civivi, so to speak, or They had a great booth at Blade Show. They had a lot of YouTubers that were reviewers of their stuff behind the booth, so it was very engaging. And I bought a Tenable Parr, Parr. It's a small fixed blade knife designed by Jonathan Stiles, who's a American designer from my understanding. But it is one of the coolest knives. I happen to have it locked up back here. I may grab it here in a second. I think I will. And they have a Kansept version too. The Kansept version's in S35 and it's got nicer handles, where the Tenable version is in G10 and 14C, which is fine for me. And that rhymed. Let me move this. Y'all give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. So this came with a Kydex sheath, and it came outfitted with a pocket dropper clip, which I really liked. It's the first imported knife I've seen that embraced the small little pocket clip. I put it in an Oak City leather slip, a left-handed one, when I traded for my first chickadee with Lefty. But that is the little Tenable Parr, which I did a video. I think it was my favorite budget find at Blade Show. I paid $40 show special for this. I think they're $48 on White Mountain Knives, or I think it's $99 at White Mountain Knives if you get a Kansept, which looks just like this, but it's S35. And I think it is carbon fiber for the handle. Hold on one sec. White. And for those of you that are new here, I'll go off on tangents when something comes up in the chat like this and try to show you more than you ever want to see, but just roll with me. Just roll with me. We'll see what happens. Kansept Parr. Parr. It's starting to get really fireworky here. So yes, we are getting kids in the neighborhood starting to blow shit up. All right, so this is the Kansept version. You can get these at White Mountain Knives, and you can use Javon 10 or somebody else. Well, this one's out of stock. But this one was shredded carbon fiber. Keep in mind, the Tenable, which I've got the 14C, was fine for me. That rhymed too. I've just all got my rap game on. To see how they've got the clip, that's the same setup you get with the Tenable. So if we go back here and we go Parr, whoops. All right. Those are all out of stock. Interesting. So they do have my card, that looks like, but these are the Tenable. They're indistinguishable by look. So I looked at both of them at the Kansept booth. It's just they do an upgraded blade steel and Kansept to keep their costs down. When I say keep their costs down, for example, I don't have any out here, but like on the Edgy Blade Works Tipper, which is that really cool knife that they did a collaboration with Edgy Blade Works. It was under $200. I think it was $177. And it's because they use S35VN instead of M390 or something else. They try to keep the cost down, and they do a good job on producing what I think is a really good knife at a good value. So tinnables the same way. I've had several of the budget versions, the tinnables come in, like the Fenrir and others. I've passed them along to you guys. They're great knives. So I think Kansept's one to watch, but everybody is getting into the little fixed blade game. You guys have probably noticed that. There's just a lot of cool stuff. This knife will be back around. I feel comfortable about that because it is a very popular size. When I saw it at Blade Show, I instantly wanted it. So I'm sure other people get the same vibe if you're a fixed blade guy or gal. I'm just kind of a fan of it. It's got that interesting blade. Doesn't really look like anything else. I appreciate that. But Jonathan Stiles is the designer. So that's one of the cool things. Hey, guys, hold on a second. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, appreciate it, Dart Redwise XZC. I'm streaming also on Kick. I broadcast this to Kick and to, I think, Rumble, just in case. But these guys always come around and try to help. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're here. Enjoy the content. Kind of like my ball down there on my table with my Orbi lights. That's my Olight Pro. As odd as that is. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys, I know TRM is more of a boutique OEM. They don't sell as many as Benchmade or a lot of those companies, of course, but they are obtainable. And one of the cool things is you can even get them. I'm trying to think where I saw. There's a dealer that has a bunch of them right now, a bunch of naked ones. So you can, for example, get a naked Atom, this knife without any scales. And it works, believe it or not, without scales, just with the liners. But that lets you buy the scales that you want from TRM. So out of the gate, you can get it the way you want it. They do stuff like that. These knives are under 250 bones if you don't get the frame lock. If you get the Neutron, which when I got this, I traded knives plus cash that I had with, I think Mateo for this knife. I can't remember exactly who it was, but it came with red micarta handles, and I upgraded the handles, changed it to a lot of different handles because on TRMs, you don't have to take the pivot screw out to remove the scale. The scale is just held on by these two screws, so it's very easy to change the screws. And then once I got to titanium, I kind of stopped adding, I didn't want to go back to my card after titanium. But these knives, I think, are overlooked because, again, it's for if you're just cutting stuff, boxes and stuff, and you process a lot of cardboard. The geometry on these are very nice. I think now they're working with both MagnaCut and 20CV, all USA made, manufactured. Nice guys, gals. And again, they're not going to cost you any more than a Benchmade, but you're getting a small batch knife. Still lifetime warranty and all that good stuff. And again, if you add titanium, they get more expensive. So when people say, no, Javon, they're actually closer to $350, $400. No, if you get them fully dressed, they're more expensive. But if you get them in G10 or micarta or some of the other, I think they use Rich Light, and maybe wood. They used to use wood on some of their scales, and they always do different drops of different scales. So cool stuff. I was stoked to get this. They've been awesome to me, but I was a customer long before I had a channel. But they have been kind enough to send me several knives to check out, fixed blades. I actually bought the tag along, the fixed blade. The two knives that I purchased at Blade Show this year were the TRM tag along because I wanted to get it back and review it before they dropped. And just so y'all know, they're making another batch of those. When you go to their site, it says back ordered. But these were in PS427, some weird D2 kind of metal. Well, it's kind of a powder metallurgy steel that's similar to D2, but it's better in all the properties by just a little bit. But the next run is going to be MagnaCut. So they are coming back. Small fixed blade. I saw it. I fell in love with it. I thought it was so cute. I don't think I have it out here. I don't. We had a major tenable rant because somebody mentioned in the chat to somebody else, weren't even talking to me. That shows how I'm kind of an eavesdropper. I'll see something, my squirrel brain will grab on something. Thomas Conley, that is true. The reason I put the O-rings on the thumb studs is it's easier for me to get my finger on them. And the original, that was fireworks. The original issue was that they would snag on some people's pockets when you took it out of your pocket. And TRM just offered these. But yeah, you don't have to put them on there. They're an interesting thumb stud. But for me, because I like to reverse flick more than I like to thumb flick or slow roll. And they just give you, they sit, the little rubber thing sits proud of the top. No, absolutely. I was not serious about shooting the cat with the assault gun. And the assault gun that I was talking about was the bug assault, but absolutely not, because it will take a wasp down from about 6 yards. Tippy is my homie. Tippy knows she's my ride or die. That cat's been with me since she was probably 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old. I need to send Dark Gravity a link. I don't know if y'all follow Dark Gravity on Instagram, but we're going to look at something real quick on Dark Gravity's Instagram. Squirrel, we talk about cats, and you shall have cats. So they've had a little visitor come to their house that they're rehabilitating. Now, he started off, he was dirty. I can't even drive. I apologize, guys. I was trying to share little Stevie with you. This is Stevie. Stevie looks a little rougher in the first picture, but Stevie's coming along good. He just came into play over at the Dark Gravity house, I think this time last weekend. And he's playing. Still healing, getting well, but then Dark Gravity goes to work, comes back, and in his master bathroom, who's the king of the house? Not just Tippy. I only have one, Kathleen. I've got Tippy. Tippy's my only cat, but this is Dark Gravity, my buddy who's been on the stream a couple of times. I'm getting ready to send him a link. I don't know if he'll be able to join, but they had a stray show up, or they rescued this little kitten last weekend. Henry G, are they in? I mean, I don't know if you can hear them through the mic, but I've got bombs like crazy going off around here. The rocket red glare, man. They want to blow stuff up. I just hope nobody's getting hurt. Yeah, we had a, I'm sure everybody's got their 4th of July tragedy story, so we won't start sharing them. I won't share. But yeah, Dark Gravity, the man, the myth, the legend. If y'all don't remember, I'll show you a picture of Dark Gravity on his Instagram. This homie right there. He's my knife buddy. He lives about 30 miles from me. When we were first, long before I had a channel, but when we were first in the community and chat rooms and stuff, we got to talking through, I think, Grateful Panic's live streams, and then realized that we were within proximity of each other. And there happens to be a really nice knife store in Athens too. So we'd start meeting up, and yeah, he's a great guy. Went to Blade Show with them, him and his son last year, and then met them up there this year for a day. But I need to do a real quick copy that. I need to go right up here. I need to go right here. I need to go message. And I need to drop this in the, not now. I don't want to do that. But no, it is very loud here, but it sounds like it's kind of off at the distance. When I say a distance, like the next street over. Usually you can see them. when they're going off in the neighborhood, like the immediate neighborhood, you actually see the fireworks. You see the stuff blowing off. Wow. Yeah, Geek Machinist. I've never had multiple cats. I've had cats cross over because I've always let cats kind of choose us. So when I was married and had my daughter, I think we raised two cats. And the second cat that came around was named Taz. And Taz was a little Morris colored bobtail cat. I worked in a cabinet shop in Arab, Alabama, about 30 miles south of where I am now. And you know where the dust collector in a cabinet shop does when they turn it on, the dust bags go off. It's really loud. Well, this little cat showed up at the cabinet shop, this kitten, and he just would hang out back by the loading bay where that dust collector happened to be, where the trucks would back up and get cabinets. And he'd lay under it. That thing would go off and his ears would perk up just a bit. When I first took him home before we took him to the vet, I thought he was probably deaf, but he wasn't. He just didn't give a shit. And Tippy's the same way. Tippy would look at Ashley when Ashley would be hiding in the closet, nervous about fireworks. Tippy would just be like, "Come on, girl. There's nothing to it." But she's never been out and had a bad experience. I'm sure if you have a traumatic experience, Sierra, Rick, they don't, Tippy is the only kitty that lives with me, and she's indifferent. She wants to go back out, but I won't let her. So I think she's gone back to the bedroom to lay down. I don't see her. But no, she's in the house for the night. And she showed up at my ex-wife's car dealership, works at the biggest Chevrolet dealership in Huntsville. And there was a family of cats that had been born out there, and it was on a really busy road. And I guess the little ones were getting taken out by owls and stuff one by one. And Tippy was the last one left. And my ex trapped it with tuna fish and one of those humane raccoon-like traps where they walk over it and it shuts. And so that cat came home probably weighing, I don't know, 11, 12 ounces of piss and vinegar. We had to seclude it to the laundry room for like 2 weeks. And every time you'd walk in there to try to feed it, it would climb your leg hissing at you. Tippy was a badass. And then Tippy, when we separated and I moved out, my ex-mother-in-law came to live with my ex and let Tippy out. Tippy had never gone out of the house before. And Tippy disappeared. And there'd been coyotes in the neighborhood and stuff. And we figured that something bad had happened to Tippy because Tippy never came back. My daughter was crushed. About 6 months later, 6.5 months later, my daughter calls me and is like, "Dad, I think we found Tippy." I was like, "What do you mean you think you found Tippy?" She's like, "Well, I just saw a post on Facebook and I can tell it's Tippy. Mom doesn't believe me, but we're getting ready to go down and try to pick her up." I was like, "Brittany, don't get your hopes up." Because this is about 8 miles from our old house. I was like, "Don't get your hopes up," because the chances of Tippy still being around and navigating that far, the chances are slim and none. And Tippy's got a couple of defining marks, one on her chin and then a couple of just markings with her white. She's got a little scar too. But it was Tippy. So Tippy went thug and lived on the road when she was born. And then when she was about a year old, she was on the road for 6 months. And I guess she traversed through the little sewer system, the underground drainage, to keep from getting run over because she has to cross a highway to where we found her. Yeah, and she stays in now and she does good. She goes out. She's an in-out cat. I feel bad trapping her inside. Be Shady, what is up? Channel member. Who else do I miss? Mister, what is up? So other knives that are really cool, I'm thinking, are I'm a big fan of this knife. This is the Lynch Northwest, their first fixed blade. It's the Sparrow 7. And they're working with both CPM 154 and or MagnaCut, depending on what you choose. And you can either get a milled grind, which is a step mill, which is the way that TKL or SPK Alex Steingraber on the Lamias or American Blade Works do their grinds with a CNC step down. But this is just a flat grind I think this one's in Magna Cut. Nice micarta, flat but chamfered handles. Little spear point. I guess you'd call that a spear point, but it's thin, which is what I look for in an EDC fixed blade because I like to stick it in my back pocket. Buddy, Kick's not my focus. I just started to stream there, but y'all are starting to spam me, so I might not stream here anymore and just stay on YouTube. But appreciate you stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the content. Yeah, I had a guy in my Instagram comments, and I didn't pay attention to it because, like I've told you guys, I deal with a bunch of just, I'd call them kind of semi-minor psychological issues, but one of them kind of keeps me out of my comment section just because I get overwhelmed. But with Instagram, I started seeing a guy because my notifications pop up, and this guy would say, I've got one of those for sale. And I went into the comments, and I noticed on almost every post, this guy with like 4 followers was telling people in my chat that, oh, if you like that knife, I've got one on it. I'll add you on Discord, buddy. I'm really on Discord, to be honest with you. Can you email me? I've got a channel email, and I'll do a Zoom call with you or something. I've got a Discord. We can work that out. Send me an email, Gamey. But yeah, it's just I forgot what I was saying. But this is a very cool knife, and I'm a big fan of Lynch. I've always loved their clips, but I love to see people getting into fixed blades because, for one, it makes me think I'm not just crazy, because I am crazy. And my brain's very atypical. So I do apologize for that. And something in the conversation I was having before Gamey jumped back in was about my kind of squirrely brain, how it doesn't think normally. But I'd never looked at a fixed blade knife as a potential purchase, right? Till I bought an SE3 because I felt like I needed a fixed blade knife. The SE3 didn't turn my wheels. It was when Lefty started talking about the Chickadee, the first Chickadee, that I ended up buying off of him when he got tired of it. But not before I purchased a couple of, like a Tucson TS150 was my first small fixed blade. But I could not believe how useful and how often I reach for that knife. I keep in my back pocket. Today I'm carrying, stays in my back pocket. This is my Lucky Dog Knife Company Bulldog. It's a little 4 3/4 inch ram's foot blade, AEBL, designed by Mr. Kidd here in the States and handmade by David Mary Customs. They're actually water jet and then hand finished, handmade by David Mary Customs in Canada. So it's a nice collaboration, really nice little knife. But I had the Neutron in my pocket, and I only cut open a couple of things. I opened a package at my mom's from yesterday and did something else, but I used my Bulldog out of my back pocket. Tippy's around somewhere. Absolutely, Richard. And what I learned too, and I didn't do it for that, Tippy's just knocking shit. She just cleared the coffee table. She wants to go out into the fireworks. She wants to embrace the chaos. Can y'all hear it? I don't know if my filter's keeping the fireworks loud booms, but there are definitely some resounding booms. Let's do this. Let's go with a brighter boom, because it is getting loud here. Let's go to that. Perfect. Sierra Rick, Stasa is the guy that I go to learn how things cut. Stasa's a great guy, a channel that I think everybody should engage with if you like fixies. But what's weird is I don't know what changed in me, except for the fact that I was using it more. But what I thought I loved about knives, and what I do love about knives, are the actions. I like fiddling with my knives. I'm a fidgeter, multi-deployment guy. And I didn't think I would, have anything to talk about reviewing fixed blade knives, but that I would be so enamored with them and seek them out. Like when I went to Blade Show, I brought back 7 knives and no folders. They were all fixed blades. I just love them. I mean, I had one when I was a kid. Yeah, good luck with that. I don't use WhatsApp. Appreciate it. My email's in my channel bio, brother. Rainier, I have a Rainier Fast Pack, and I love it. I purchased that, and it was very economical when I got it. It was, I want to say it was under $100. L-Max, micarta. It's got a little 1/4-inch bolt driver in the handle, which is kind of gimmicky, but I used it just to see if I would. I would use it with the Phillips probably more than anything else, if I just as a last resort. But I'm never going to be in a place where I don't have a bit driver close. But the Rainier that I've got is the Fast Pack. It's the only one I've checked out, but they make really good knives at a good price. And they're USA made. They're not. Let's just take a peek. See, Tippy's just sitting there. She could care less. I mean, there's stuff like literally blowing up. So this is the one I've got, the Fast Pack. That's the Fast Pack right there. Fast Pack Skinny. It's a great knife. You've got a Fast Pack, which is a small one. This one I want to say is under 7 inches. What is it? 6.5 inches in L-Max. And they've got a base camp that's bigger. Uh, 7.4 inches. So nice knives. I mean, I'm a fan. I've only got the Fast Pack, 2 Fast Packs. They are awesome. They're light. They're easy to carry. I didn't know you could buy scales for them. That's kind of interesting that you can swap out the scales, but I know you can on most knives. That was an expensive rabbit hole for me when I first got into TRM. I was buying scales like crazy. $45 for a set of scales. Mine are green linen micarta now. But yeah, this is a knife that I definitely recommended it. It's got 15 positive reviews. I did a video on it, used it. I don't test knives like Stasa does, so I don't do cut tests to see how long they'll hold an edge. I like sharpening them, and I'll tell you how they feel under a stone. But I'm not a professional sharpener. I'm just a hobbyist sharpener, but I sharpen a lot of knives. But they always cut good for me. So that the Fast Pack got a great review. I didn't have any problem with them. Yeah, it's here, Rick, and I'll show you still my favorite surprise that I learned about last year, and it was because of Ron Wolf, a subscriber, sent me one to check out a Tradition Junior, the very good knife company, and then I called them because I was so impressed after I reviewed that knife, and I learned that they'd only been open for a little over a year, but that Jacob had been grinding knives for his dad for over 10 years. So this knife, I saw him at Blade Show, but I've seen him before Blade Show. I've never seen a prettier grind than on these knives. The grind is just delightful. And he does a lot. He goes live on YouTube almost every afternoon doing work. So he shows you his whole process. And they do the ones my buddy has bought and the special signature series. So he also works with nicer handles. So if you want those blades, which are awesome blades, you can get like the Tradition Junior with fat carbon fiber. So he makes nicer ones, both the signature series and the specials. The specials are just fat carbon. I say just fat carbon. This is just like the knife I reviewed. That was my first. Why is it flickering? What the? That's weird. He's got his scripting going weird on that one. Let's see if that one will open. Nope. That's not good. But anyway, you can get some more frou-frou ones, and they're not that expensive. Even the signature specials are not that expensive. So the Tradition Junior, which is one of my favorites, USA made, it's going to list for, let's just store. Let's look at the signature. This is a frou-frou one. That's expensive. That's not a good example. Let's look at the Hawk. $229. That's a bigger knife. And then I love the Falcon Nitro V. That looks like it's got a carbon fiber handle. It's $300. But a beautiful hollow grind. And its entry point is less. But yeah, that was the biggest surprise, because I learned, and I'm learning every day from you guys mainly, that I know nothing about nothing. 22nd month, dude. Thank you so much. Let me give you a man hug and find out what else I've missed. There's no telling. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Guys, I appreciate your support, and definitely come by tomorrow at 3. There is a killer giveaway that you guys will be stoked about. I don't know if you watched my disassembly mystery video. Hey, Paul outside the walls. Welcome, buddy. I'm so glad you're here, dude. I'm glad you stopped by. You're welcome to stay. The chat is very kind, but thank you for stopping by, and thank you for those kind words. Chris229, channel member, what is up, buddy? But yeah, please stop by tomorrow, because you do not have to be present to win. All you have to do is drop the magic word in the chat. I would tell you the magic word because I know what it is, but if you put it in there before the show goes live or before I start collecting the comments, you wouldn't get sucked up. So you can just stop by anytime between 3 and 3:45, drop the word in, say hey, or just creep through. And then if you get drawn, you will win. And it's a nice knife. It's one of the cooler ones. Mimo, welcome, buddy. Happy 4th of July. Us here are 4th of July. And if you can hear in the background, I've got a cat laying in my lap, which is very uncomfortable. But she's decided to get in my lap, which is okay. I'm gonna let her lay there. I'm not gonna let it bother me. Mark Parks, what is up? The chat is just talking to each other right now. I was looking for something. We talked about a couple of different knives. We talked about some Rainier fast packs. A cool knife. We talked about very good knife company. But everybody's just kind of saying, hey, low key on the 4th of July. So anything that you've got questions about or you'd like to talk about, I'm wide open. I do have some things that we can go through and look at. Some cool stuff I've seen on Instagram, but I'm in no rush to do that. So I'm kind of, and what's bad is when I jump over, I wonder if I put Instagram over here. Let me try something. If I will be able to manage both the chat and Instagram. Let me check something. Because I hate missing. I feel like when I'm sharing content, which is what y'all are here for, is to talk to each other. What's up, pretty fly? Hopefully to learn something or get it made aware of something that you thought was cool. But I hate when I'm sharing stuff that I'm thrown out of the chat window. So we'll see if that's going to show right. That is the Knight's Edge Blessed Knives. It's a new model, the Predator. Gorgeous knife. What do we got there? A Bel Air and a McNeese from BEDC. New Ferro Monster knife. I'm still, sure he's out. Dan Vonderheide, this is my buddy, that I worked with at Spectrum Reach for like 11 years. He's in Kentucky. We were in this we used to have a Southeast market before they changed that up, and he was part of it. He's a brother of mine. Paul, the Predator looks awesome, dude. You were the other person that was showing me about it. Donnie's knives are, I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to understand because it was hard for me to understand until I actually handled one of his knives, because you think of different layers of good. And to me, some of these American knives are as good as I feel like I could ever want. But you see some of the stuff that Donnie and people talented like Donnie are doing by hand without the aid of CNC machinery and the tolerances that they're keeping. And his knives are the bomb. And that Predator's gorgeous. A lot of these are ads. I've got a company. I thought it was weird. It was an Instagram ad. I actually clicked on it because I like energy drinks. It's this powdered energy stuff. And they're wanting to send me a tub to try and, give me an affiliate link, which I'm not going to try to sell energy drink, but I would like to try their energy drink. But I'm scared to, because I get a lot of emails from them since I signed up, and I see them on my feed all the time. And I don't, the last thing I need is some energy company wearing me out in email. But I'm interested in how powdered energy drinks would work, because energy drinks, Red Bulls, I used to love them, but they're so expensive. All right, so we're not seeing any knives here either. Oh, that's a great knife right there. That is the TKL Worn EDC. That is the collaboration between Melissa Backwoods and Tim Kell. I have got one of those and absolutely love it. This is the ring handle. You can buy a Piranha handle for this knife, which makes it a 5-inch knife. The Piranha handle comes to right here. Or you can buy an extended handle that comes to right here. It has another bolt that you put in it. Very versatile knife. Go to your IG, Geek Machinist. Let's go there. We can always do that. The Chop 2, who makes it, Pretty Fly? Who makes the Chop 2? Let's go to Geek Machinist, and I'll pull that up. Then I'm going to go back to chat and find out what y'all are talking about. I want to learn about other knives. All right. Well, I drink coffees, dude, but right now I'm not working as hard as I should be. I'm making content. That's been my only thing since I got our little manager circle got degenerated or decommissioned, I guess you'd say, last year. Maine Coons are huge, dude. They look like the Chop. Hold on. The Chop knife. I'm sure this is going to pull up all kinds of Japanese. Yeah. Who makes the Chop? Who makes the Chop, Pretty Fly? G Fuel energy powder. So you've tried the powder? That could be dangerous here, Rick. Knock on wood. And this is the kiss of death. I used to always have cuts. I think I've knock on wood. Yeah, we'll pull you up, Richard, here in a second too. And what I want y'all to do, if you would, when we look at these, if you're interested in them, like I'm going to drop Geek Machinist in here now. I'll give them a follow, engage with them. You can DM each other, another place to communicate. But this looks like a carry development. Oh, tactile pterodactyl, even better. That's a gorgeous little chode. Am I subscribed to you? I've seen that knife. Oh, I wasn't seeing that post. That's awesome. Now, Scandi grinds, I don't have. I've got knives that have a grind similar to that, but it's not something I've really. I understand it, but I don't. I've never been attracted to the look of it. Again, I'm that weird guy that buys stuff. This is that new Bostede. I think that's cute. I say cute in the most masculine of terms. They've also got a sheep's foot, I think. But again, another one of my favorite imported companies that is making a very small fixie. That's a little Smog. I've never, and don't, I own my Buck 110, but I've never had a Buck fixed blade, but all of them look really good. I did the same thing with Kershaw until I tried one. I need to, and see, I wish I could take pictures like that. I love people that can take, and it's not that my camera won't do it. I'm not good at lighting, but I know that's just the inside of his case, but mine, I can't organize like that. My brain will not work like that. CRKT, nice, dude. This is one of the best knives. This Leicht, the Walmart knife that I bought. This is my second most viewed video ever. A great knife. I think it was when I bought it under $30. I think it's gone up now. But a very good, inexpensive, small, thin G10 liner, micarta handle, coated D2. Nice. I reached out to Rife today. How is that F3? They've also got that cicada that looks really nice. That's a beautiful knife. Little small guy. Y'all go follow Geek Machinist. Gerber Stowe. See another knife that wasn't on my radar. Very cool, very cool. All right, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's go. Richard, did you say, yeah, you might have to create one? Your travel, I mean, this stuff is amazing. The places that you go, I can look at this. I mean, if we look, we'll just look at my feed and y'all will see that I have a lot more in my feed than just knives. But I love lifestyle stuff. I'm all for it. But like if we go down my feed, we'll see all kinds of, y'all throw your IG up there. I'm trying to watch both. There's Brant, Hendra Collector. And that's what made me think about that powdered drink stuff. Stoner Gump, don't know what that is. Kubi or KB Knives, which is Kubi's, what you call it, their premier brand. I've sent them messages. I've filled out their stuff. I have a hard time getting in touch with them. And I had more Kubis. I used to have, I've reviewed a ton of Kubis. Baz Blades, he's got a channel that I used to watch when I first got into the knife community. Baz on Blades. But see, I've got weird shit like that. That's Dirk Warning. He's a knife guy. He just posted something weird. So that was the Warren EDC. There's Scab. Having a little 4th of July feast. I like old scab. Now, I like this. I wouldn't normally be drawn to a grind like that, but it reminds me of Freeman knives, and Kansept did it, which I think is cool because it's somebody's design. They just kept it true to the design. I think it's a sexy knife. It'll sharpen just like a normal knife. I'm sure there's a tenable version too. Let's see. They might all be Kansepts. Tiny Dancer. It's a little guy. S35VN. I'm sure we'll look it up. I'm sure it's not that. It's probably about $99. Again, it's not cheap. I don't know. See, anytime you see sponsored in your feed, that's showing you that you're being targeted, that ad, for whatever reason. And it could be just that you're on Instagram. Love this knife. This is a recent purchase of mine that I did an unboxing on before I bought it. I'm going to do a long term on it. Luck Knives. That's NAF Sergeant. He must be out at the range for the 4th. We got Jack Billings at Shed Knives. He's been on the show before. So I've got a full-size Skur, and I've got that little one. And I think I'm going to review that little one that Richard sent me tonight after the live. So that must be the Shed Knives team. Overbuilt Knives. Just a lot of marketing stuff on Instagram today. I'm trying to find something that'll make us a little mushroom kit. You can grow mushrooms. That looks like a skiff. No, it's a Holt. Holt. That was Tippy. She actually hit 2 as she stepped out of my lap. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you can still hear me, that she hadn't disconnected us. Rocket City EDC and Urban Supply. All right. I'm about getting tired of Instagram. Nothing but knives. What's this? But cool stuff. Those are nice scales. What are those? Lynches? Or those Metten Boss? But like said Stevie's pictures, stuff like this, I can't spatially come out and put a PNW pin, a B Brian F, little shank. I would never be able to lay this out and make it look like that. I mean, hats off to people who can do that. I'm lucky just to be able to take the picture. But the other thing that I've been following, Lord Needham, what is up, brother? That's another one that I urge you guys, if you want to get Paul Might and Lord Needham, and I know I'm leaving somebody out here, but if you want to see very artistic, taken, well exposed, if you want to use that word, well produced images and cool knives. So they're not just good pictures, they're good pictures of knives. Everything Lord Needham posts is cool, it's classy, and it's banging. Henry G, thank you, brother. Man, thank you, buddy. I hope you're having a good day. It's never a sale. All it is it's marketing, it's hype. It's get in on it while you can get it cheap type of thing. Even though it's not any cheaper. It might be cheaper than it was yesterday, but it shows you there's a lot of markup in the stuff that we buy. And you can see those prices fluctuate quite a bit. And I learned how knife stores work. I mean, look at these knives that Lord Needham has. I mean, I'm just, if you guys like to look at cool stuff, photographed well, Tippy. I'm sorry, guys. I agree with you, dude. Not the knives, but the That's what sales are. That's why people have and market stuff like that. Get it at whatever off or get it exclusively now, because it's all about creating urgency in the public's mind. Believe me, I was the biggest hype buyer for 2.5 years. I purchased so much stuff that, and I don't blame Lefty. We had the same kind of jive for knives. So I would see a knife that I liked on his channel. I'd go watch other videos on it, and I'd inevitably end up getting it. Now, did I need that knife? No. At the time, could I afford it? Yes. Do I regret any of those purchases? There's probably 2 knives that I've bought out of more than I'll ever remember that I haven't liked. One I sent back, and I was able to get a refund on it because it had lock stick. But watching the right reviews and not watching them there were a couple of knives I bought that I call it FOMO, or fear of missing out, like a Jaeger that I'd have no regrets on. But looking back at it now, I would not have gone to that frenzy to try to get it. But there's some nice ones out there that I wasn't aware of a lot of these knives until people like Paul Mills or Lord Needham, Paul Might, Satu Dave showed it on a picture, and it made me go, what is that? And then I learned about it. That's the same way I was when I watched content from Lefty or Metal Complex or Slicey Dicey or whoever. I was looking for a specific knife that looks just like my Jaeger, except I've got Zerk collar and a Zerk clip. But let me show you another one that you ought to follow. What is up, Bobo Snoggins? Good to see you, brother, channel member. Stop by the live tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It will be worth your visit. I promise you that. Day tip. So I want to show you another one of my favorites. Then we'll look at Paul Mills because he's definitely worth following. But if I want to look at knives that I've never seen before, go give brother Paul Might a follow and see some really interesting knives. That's a sin. I've got this knife, which is a great knife. And then he's got this little chode here. But I mean, just a great collection. Knives that you don't see every day. Whoops. But all stuff that I find very interesting to look at, because I don't watch a lot of YouTube knife videos where I learn about new knives. I mean, like custom knives that, when I say new knives that I didn't know existed. Now I see a lot of budget knives and stuff like that, Tippy, that I'm not that interested in personally anymore. But you do see a lot of those on YouTube. But for looking at new knives, it's hearing from you guys in the chat, or I find them on Instagram. Oh, it's good. And my Instagram has got other stuff in it too. I mean, I wish I could find one of these cat videos where it's like it's a AI thing of cats that explain you some kind of mental illness. Let me find one. I know that sounds crazy. And it might only show up on my mobile. Man, it sounds like a war zone outside my house. But some cool posts today. Again, I'm a fan of Instagram for looking at knives. I can kind of get my feed where I want to see it. This is an ad. It says sponsored, so I don't know what that is, but they think I'd like it. ProTech. Mud Dog Forge. This guy is a local knife maker. When I say local, within 100 miles of me. Want to Shed Knives, Sheep's Foot, Watchman Knife and Tool. But yeah, just really cool stuff. That looks like the same knife or a knife very similar. I don't think it was Tiger Stripe. The pattern on the handle was the same that Ryan Ellis picked up at Blade Show. The day that he picked up his trifecta in one day, his Hinderer, his Chris Reeves. Well, he got the Chris Reeves the day before and his Strider. I was looking for, I'm going to just pull them up. My favorite, and he's only got a couple that I really like. This is probably my favorite USA made custom, and it's made by Colin here. A really nice guy, very much underfollowed. He's only got a couple thousand subscribers. He's up in New England. I had the pleasure of spending a little time with him in the pit at Blade Show. But when he makes Damascus, which is kind of his specialty, he forges it in his shop. So he'll start with like 4 little billets of steel. But the workmanship that he puts out, and the price. Now, I asked him about this because I never liked the shadow box scales as much. And he says that they're kind of an upcharge because they're harder to make and people like them. I like his full handle scales, but I don't have an EDP. The one I've got is an EDW. That's where he makes his Damascus. So he does more than just cut out blanks. EDT, this is like mine, but it's a Tanto. S35VN, fat carbon, just gorgeous stuff. I mean, and he's absolutely a wonderful guy.
Hope everyone's doing well. Just wanted to hop on here real quick. I think the reels are restricted to a certain time limit, and I might take a few more seconds than that. So, hi. Hope everyone's having a great Monday, and just wanted to say thank you to everyone who came out to the Lehigh Valley Knife Show this week.
So the only reason I show that so you can get an idea, a little window into the way he is, he talks. He's a very kind, like most of the makers that I've met, very helpful for people like Shane that has questions that or wants him to check out Shane's knife and give feedback. He's just a really good guy. But what I wanted to show you, let me get down to it. This is like mine. That's like the knife I've got, the EDW. It's clean, it's thin, it's slicey, it's gorgeous. I'll break mine out here in just a second. But I mean, interesting stuff. I don't know if that's a monster mouth. Look at that weird knife. And so this one is 1084 and 15N20 is that Damascus composition. So if you look at any of these that are in Damascus, this one's 1084, 15N20. That's one like the one I've got that's not in Damascus. Because I told him, Zach Stuff gifted a membership to somebody that's going to get to join us tomorrow. Thank you, Zach. Zach, please stop. Thank you, Zach. I hope you can stop by tomorrow, buddy. And whoever was gifted, let me see who was gifting that membership so they can thank Zach, and be sure to stop by the live tomorrow. All right, why is that not working for me? Marco got the membership. Marco was gifted by Zach, dude. That's awesome, Zach. Thank you, brother. And yeah, do come by tomorrow. There's a cool one going out there that you guys will like. Unlike anything I've ever seen, the way that the frame lock was done on it. It's the Kansept Parr. And I did a video. Let's do this. it looks like a frame lock. However, oh, I'll tell y'all something too. I had a panicked Wednesday. Was it yesterday? Wednesday. Maybe it was yesterday. But I thought I lost my YouTube channel. I lost access to my YouTube channel. I thought it was hijacked. But I worked with YouTube chat and figured it out, and it was user error. Space Ghost, good to see you, brother. 15 months. God, guys, you don't know how much that means to me that you stick it out with me for that long. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Man hug coming your way. Thank you, buddy. And do stop by tomorrow at 3, because the one that's going to be given away is this one right here. But what was cool about it is this lock. I'm going to probably get an ad. Because I'm one of the poors that doesn't pay for YouTube Premium. All right, so this looks like a frame lock. Let's get it apart. But it's not, see, it doesn't have a relief cut in it. It's got a an inset. It's done very well. It's very cool. But let's get back to what it's going to be. That's what's going to be tomorrow's giveaway knife. S35VN. It's got a really cool Tanto blade, unlike anything I've seen. Designed by a guy, I forget his name, Michael something, out of Italy. Titanium handles, titanium clip. It's got that, they call it a frame lock, but it's not. It's an inset frame lock of some kind. Very weird. What's up, Todd Carr? Oh, I thought that was going to, let's see if it'll show you the knife. Let's see if I got it back together by here. All right, it's just going to spin. You'll have to trust me. Let's do this. Kansept. I don't have it close, or I would just show it to you. It actually might be close. Yeah, just no, I'll put it back in the case. But this is the knife. Actually, it's not, because it's got a black blade. That's the knife. It's got a flipper and this fuller. You can middle finger flick it all day long. It is designed by Marco Pinella from Rainier Knives. Started making knives in 2017. So do stop by tomorrow. Awesome. Let me pull it up. Let me get Instagram back over here. Guys, one day I'm actually going to be able to run and pull off a live stream. Go to messages. Oh. So this is how Donnie's knives start. We'll go to Donnie's site in a second too. His page. I like the swedge, Paul. Did you add that, buddy? Is this swedging added by you? It looks like yours has got extra swedging on it, buddy. Hey, David David Helka. Jay, the raccoon was back the day before yesterday. Last night, a possum came by. And I saw a coyote when I was going up to my dad's a couple of 2 hours ago, running beside the side of the road. So, yeah, it's kind of woolly boogery up here on this side of the cemetery because there's not a lot of shit that scares it off. I think that's the cemetery. If y'all Google it, Google Earth, Maple Hill Cemetery in Huntsville, Alabama. It's huge. And I think like family of deer live in there because I've seen them. And I think that's where they hang out. The ghost swedge, like on the, oh, nice, dude. Very nice. It's beautiful. And it looks like it's moving along. And guys, let me show you the material. Oh, I don't think it's on his page. Where did we find it, Paul? I think you messaged it to me. Hold on a sec. I mean, he's making these clips out of a piece of metal and simple tools. Every part of these knives are made by his hands. I mean, it's somebody like me, who I can take knives apart. I can put knives together. These guys do is unbelievable. I mean, the tolerances on one of these knives is unbelievable. Donnie is the man. I mean, he does it all. I mean, you don't get more custom than that. I wonder how many hours. Paul, do you know how many hours he has in each knife? What's up? I think he probably has. I can't even begin to guess. And I know he's not making them one at a time, but when they come out looking like that, and that's all done by Donnie. I mean, except for the hardware. I take that back. He orders the hardware. Everything on there is hand fabricated except for the hardware. Just unbelievable. Next level stuff. Let me see where Paul, did you message it to me? I don't think you did. I think you texted it to me. Nope. All right, check this out. This is what Paul's is going to be made out of. The one we just looked at. That's the scales.
Really should have made a pattern of this before I sold it.
I mean, you don't get more custom than that, guys. Can y'all see that? I mean, yes, sir. Donnie Bless is killing it. What's up, Gareth? I told you our screen names are fixed. I guess when I messaged YouTube last week, they never replied to it, but I guess they changed it back because it is something I'm seeing on random other lives, and it is a feature that I don't know why YouTube, Google would do that because it seems less engaging than what they had before, but we're back to normal. I don't know if the crowns are in the chat. I've not seen that. Hopefully not. Maybe they are. It is what it is. Gareth gifted one. Gareth, thank you, buddy. Let's see who got Gareth. Let me give him a man hug first, and then y'all thank him if if you got a channel membership from them, because again, you can stop by tomorrow at 3. There are only a few of us that come, and you've got a great chance to win something really cool. Thank you, Gareth, a South African brother. Awesome. Looks like Marco's the man. So yeah, guys, we moved him back to 3 p.m. so Satisfaction could attend. I'm kidding. We just moved him back to 3 p.m. because that was a vote. It edged out our normal 11 o'clock time. But it's a very interesting, unique live. I'll be there for about an hour hanging out, but you guys don't have to be because it's a busy day. All you do is pop in, you drop the magic word in the chat. You can stay, or you can go like Ryan did when he won, go watch his nephew hit his first home run, and I'll get in touch with you. Or you can watch the end of the stream to see who won. But yeah, good to see you, Dwayne, chatting it up. Good to see you guys. I figured it'd be very, very low. I figured a lot of people would be out doing 4th of July stuff. When I quit drinking, not that there's anything wrong with drinking. I wish I could drink like a normal person. I'd still be drinking. But I kind of quit doing the go out 4th of July stuff. I used to do it all the time. I think it was just kind of part of the lifestyle. And it was great. I mean, like I said, I was not the most controlled drinker. I didn't make the best decisions, should we say. Jay, what is up? What is up? In the hayfield all day tomorrow. Buddy, I hope the weather cooperates with you. I hope it's not super, super hot. I hope you get a lot done. Nothing wrong with that. Iron Tide car, let's see what we got. I know that's for Mimo. That's not for me, but I'm going to pull it up and see if it's... Oh, yeah, Sharpening Stone. Todd's dropping facts. I'm still the fixed angle guy. And it's just taken me a while to get as good as I want to get with that. I've still got a ways to go, but I wish I was comfortable using a bench stone because I think you could get a lot more out of your knives. I don't think you have to take off as much steel. In the way my brain thinks about it is you could do more with a bench stone with less metal waste. Let me drop that link in there. How do we do that? Go back to that link. I'll drop a short one. This is an affiliate link. You don't have to use this, but it's going to be short enough to drop in there. Let's see what Amazon's suggesting I do. I've been looking at some weird stuff at Amazon. I'm going to end up having to get my lawnmower fixed because I don't have the right tools to take the carburetor apart. Check this little guy out. Kind of done like a Riot EXO. Not scrolling over there. But you can put a comb blade on it, or you can put a razor blade on it. I like these little weird box cutter knives. There's a out the front. But Amazon's got some weird stuff. And I've looked at like pencils since I've been drawing different knife shapes. I've gotten some different weird pencils, camera stuff, weird stuff, book stuff. Yeah, kind of, that's like me showing you an insight into my squirrely late night brain when I'm clicking around on Amazon. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you, buddy. I was showing everybody what I carried today. Besides my, I carried a Neutron, but in my back pocket, this does not come out of it. And I've got several that could replace it from time to time, but it's just so freaking handy. The little Bulldog for what I cut, which is, boxes, cat food, the drill. Paracord, I'm not a hard use guy, but I'm convinced that anything I needed to do, if I was cutting carpet or tile or shingles, it would cut that too. Rando Blaze, what is up, buddy? Happy 4th of July. Thanks for stopping by. I can't help but rhyme. I mean, I'm just like a natural linguist, just a rapper. Big Diesel. What is up, buddy? Oh, man, I'm glad you're doing family stuff. That's what it's about. You have a great night too, buddy. Enjoy it and be safe. Don't let anybody get blown up. I never had anything more than a serious burn on the 4th of July, but we got to where we would have major bottle rocket wars with PVC pipe. We'd make our own guns. We'd each have a couple of grosses of bottle rockets, and my buddy who lived in the same neighborhood had woods behind his house, and we had a little cordoned off area. There was a quarry back there. So maybe, I don't know, 800, 1,000 square yards that we were like finding a place to sit down and shooting bottle rockets and Roman candles and other rockets at each other. So I got a few burns, but no, man, there was, we definitely had a high school firework fatality tragedy thing. It was just, fireworks can be serious, especially if you're around a bunch of them. Like the central stash of fireworks, and they happen to ignite when they're in your lap, and you're trying to throw them out of a van, a 15-passenger van. Lucky Dog. We need to go and see what's still available on Andrew's site. Let's go to Lucky Dog, because I know we've got some stuff coming. I cleared my cache when I was trying to get back into my YouTube account, when I was convinced that I was forever locked out, that it had been hijacked, which was a very stressful 6 hours. But it cleared out when I cleared my cache, I cleared all my passwords out. I cleared out when I start typing in to go to a website, it would just automatically go. Let's do. So their guard dog's still in stock with the sheep's hog blades. Super nice little knife. I think this is about 6 inches. Let me see, 5 3/4. It's bigger than the Bulldog. It is 6 inches. And then coming soon, we will have more ranch dogs. I have one of these with the spay blade. I love this knife. It's also right around 6 inches. 5.9. But a gorgeous little guy. In different handle materials. This one looks like it's micarta with a couple of different materials to give you that bolster look, but you can also get it in wingay. Really cool knives. And then he's got a new one coming out. This is a design that he hasn't made before called the River Dog. And the River Dog's a spear point. It's 5.7 inches. And it just looks very, very cool. And these, again, are designed by Andrew and handmade by David Mary Customs up in Canada. They come with a deep concealment carry clip. Let me see if I can find a sheath picture. I'm going to have to fish mine out here. I think there's a picture of a sheath here. Yeah, they come with a deep concealment carry clip mounted, which is my favorite clip. I like it better than an ulti clip because mine, I've never had any rust issues, where I do get some corrosion issues with my ulti clips, but it's lighter than an ulti clip too. Very cool knives. Lucky Dog has really brought the small pocket dropper fixie heat, as far as I'm concerned. Richard got his. You got it yesterday or today? You got it yesterday. Yeah, dude. That black looks sweet. Awesome. That's this one right here, which I think looks really good. And the micarta feels so good. I mean, it really does. The handle feels very, very good. It just feels like it's supposed to be in your hand. Red and black with brass pins. Or sexy little blade. Nice jimping for your pointer finger if you want to do those, get close to the tip cuts. Nice thumb jimping. Just a beautiful little knife. But there are some ranch dogs still on the site. And Kyle had looked at this and thinks that this knife can be sharpened because the sheep's foot or sheep's hawk is so gentle that it's not going to require any special type of stones to get it sharp. I've got a work sharp ceramic rod that I use on my more, I guess you'd call them aggressive hawk bills, but that handles great. The blade is super slicey, great for cutting stuff like cardboard or cutting through materials. Great designs, Andrew. Oh, it was yesterday? Yeah, I thought it was. Nothing came today. Nothing came today. And all I had was Monday, which was this beautiful little USA made beast. I still think just because it's got a traditional detent, I wish the Bulldog, because it's fatter and rounder, I wish the Bulldog had a traditional lock. Even though their river lock's not a bad bar lock, but I wish you guys could see the texturing on that G10. If I scratch it with my thumb, you should see thumb dust. Listen. It's very coarse, but you don't have to get the coarse G10. It's just offered. But it's a winner. And again, like I said, I tried to, except for the little Tenable that somebody's talking about earlier, which is a great budget knife. I tried to just have USA made blades out here, USA made stuff. 1931 Leatherworks, Tactical Cherry made this little sheath for me for my Aries EDC pedal that Brother Paul Mills gifted me. One of the coolest little knives. It's got glow carbon fiber, G10 glow bolster. I've got too many lights on for it to glow, but it's very bright. And this is the smallest, if I'm not mistaken, this is the smallest Aries EDC that you can just pick from. It's not custom. And I love it. It's a gorgeous little knife. And Scott does such good lanyards that are usable. I was never a lanyard guy, but on some of these small fixies, if I could tie a good lanyard that was, you know, stayed stiff, that didn't get droopy, so to speak, they're handy. They are very handy. Happy Independence Day to you, buddy. I even Googled it today to find out, because I didn't know, because I'm an idiot, what Independence Day lined up with date-wise. And it was in 1776 when we ratified the Declaration of Independence. In my opinion, giving the middle finger to the crown and turning the 13 colonies into states that didn't answer to the king anymore. Pretty ballsy move. Weavers of Eternity. I'll do that, man. There was a paracord something that I used to watch that I learned to tie a snake knot on, but Weavers of Eternity. I'm just gonna subscribe so I'll be able to find it. Oh, I'm subscribed. Yeah, this is the one. That is a great site. But you got to be able to do it. You know, I don't have the. I can do okay on a snake knot, but there's not much I can do. My brain will follow directions, like learning a guitar song. Somehow I can follow directions and take time to learn how to play a song. But when it's something that's tedious with my hands, I have a tough time, especially something I'm not good at. And I think there's a talent. Joe Isabella, what is up, brother? The man, the myth, the legend. Good to see you, Joe. Stop by tomorrow at 3, buddy. It's going to be a good one. Now, unfortunately, the fixed blade will not be going tomorrow in the giveaway just because I've got to get some more big boxes or bigger boxes. I searched around because I get quite a few fixed blade shipped to me, and I've used them all up. Tells me I need to order some more fixed blades. Guys, I don't need any more fixed blades. I need to have a knife sale. But I just hang on to stuff. This is another one of my favorites. This is a little knife that Tim Kell designed kind of as a pay homage to his father-in-law who's battling cancer, has been battling cancer. But he is from the mountains of Kentucky, and he has a little knife that he still carries. It's very similar to this. This is a small, it's called the DP1. I think it stands for either Dale or Dwayne Peterson. But it's a little, for a TKL, it's really tall and thin, slicey, and just a little guy. But very well done. I'm a fan. I like the Worn EDC better. I don't have it out here because it fits in your hand better. But this is, oh, I know that, Be Shady. Dude, I know that. And I know some people hate giveaways, and I apologize for that too. But this is my EDW. I want to say this one's an AEBL, but I'd have to ask Colin because this one I picked up 2 years ago in Nashville, which, unbeknownst to me, I learned a couple of weeks ago from Knives and More, my buddies down there, that the Nashville Custom Knife Show is not going to happen anymore. It's going to be in New York, back in New Jersey in August, but they're not doing one in Nashville anymore. What's up, Josh? 304? But this is a sexy knife. If y'all ever get a chance, follow Mag10 Knife Works on Instagram. Again, it's a little bit large for what I carry, but it's so thin and light. I'll put it in my back pocket like anything else. Came with a great Kydex sheath that I used forever till I found out it fit in this Oak City leather sheath. Oh, snap. Something went wrong. Pat, is he in here? What's going on, brother? What is up, dude? Good to see you. 1 Minute Knife Review. Long time no see. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Let me get a little quiet music going in the background here. Colby's in the house. What's going on, Colby? What's happening, buddy? I'm assuming Said Faction's still on for tonight, aren't they? Let me go check something real quick. And I know we got plenty of time. I'll get. See here. It must be on Maddie's channel. Let's see. I apologize if I don't. Let's see. You go to Maddie. Yep. Pizza party after this. So everybody, as we always do, whoops, that's not the present button. As we always do, and I'll probably fall asleep, but we'll go over in about 70 minutes and we'll check out the said faction Mangana Steel pizza party. Always a good time over there. Zach probably hasn't got, well, maybe it's 7:53 out there. Maybe people are blowing stuff up. What's Marco sharing? Let me pull this up. This One Moon stuff. Let's see. Yep. Let me copy this. Pop this link in here. I think this will take you to the same place, but it's a shorter link. I'm going to share it. Very, very cool designs. Everything wants me to sign in because I cleaned my catch. I mean, very, very cool stuff. A One Moon hat. Check it out. Very cool stuff, guys. Little blades, little knife blades, knife collector sweatshirt. Very cool. Why is it not showing it big when I make it big for you guys? Oh, I know why. Because I have to stop sharing. Hold on. Stop sharing. And I got to start sharing. And share the actual shirt. Pretty cool. That looks like a Phoenix blade. Looks like you got all kinds of different blade shapes. Very knifey. One Moon's brand down there. Very cool. Very, very cool. And guys, there's several pages of designs on here. So go check out One Moon's. Ooh, that's a big muff. For you guitar players. Got a big muff fuzz pedal shirt. Very cool. Thanks for sharing. It looks like there's something special going on there too, guys. Thanks, B Shady, dude. I get so sidetracked sometimes. It's scary. It is it's interesting for shiz. Oh, shiz. But yeah, I've been following the DLT knives. That's been kind of interesting. They started out kind of out of the gate really strong, and hadn't seen anything the last couple of days that have really blown my skirt up. They're having the 15 days of blade show where they're going in and they are your browser can't access your screen. I wonder if I'm still live. Let's see. There it goes. So this is the 15 days of blade show. And I think at 2 hours, we'll see what's going to be available the day after tomorrow. So they sold out of the Demcos. They've got some McNeeses still in stock. That was the second day. I don't know anything about these double X knob fixed blades, but they're really cool. They're very expensive. Only a couple left. But you know, stuff like that they found at Blade Show, they only got one left. It looks like a reverse Quaken. But interesting knives. So some bird blades, Sweeney's, and Ticks. And they did today was Nottingham pins. And then you've got each night they unveil what's going to be available. So it's kind of cool. I've been trying to check in on them, but since I'm not buying anything, I haven't been in a rush. But the Demco sold out first. Everything else that's been released, if you've been interested in it, or if you're interested in the 15 days of Blade Show, you'd have a chance to grab something, because I've not seen anything go really, really quick. They are beautiful. Let me just find the story out on those. Are they USA made? Let's see. Yep. Yeah, I mean, again, there's so many talented people, and this is a company that I'd never, ever heard of until tonight or when they showed up. But you got just a clean, wet form sheath, pocket dropper, CPM 154. That's a Zulu spear, but they've got different blade shapes. Ooh, they've also got this one in stock, a Damascus. But yeah, beautiful. I'm assuming handmade. As handmade as you can get. A beautiful little wet form pocket dropper sheath. So it's a 6.75 inch knife. I think that's probably the size of all of them, maybe. Let's look at this reverse. Oh, this one's 7.125. So they've got, this looks like really cool knives. Again, DLT is one of my favorites just because I see the stuff that I don't see all the time. And they do cool stuff like this. Everybody does different cool stuff, but there's some really neat McNeeses, by the way. One of my favorite knives, and I just put mine, they come with bearings. They ship with bearings. They run on bearings. But Skiff makes thick washers. So I put this on thick washers about 6 months ago and then put it back on bearings. But now I keep it and I'm running it on the Skiff washers. They're just so smooth. It's not drop shut, but you can give it a little shake shut. And I'm going to be reviewing a McNeese. Is it the Dixon? Is that the new knife? My buddy, my local buddy, just bought one on a drop today, and we're in the same state, so he'll probably be getting it by the middle of next week. So probably in a week or two, I'll be able to do a show and tell on it. I got to play with Ryan Ellis's at Blade Show. Beautiful big knife. And what I love about the Dixon is the way the blade hole is designed, because it's kind of like a triangle pyramid. Doesn't look like it. It looks like a cutout, but it is slightly pyramidic, and that's not even a word, but it's very easy to flick. But if you've got a McNeese Mac 2, spend $9 and buy some Skiff thick washers for it. You will not be disappointed. I think it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Bobo, what is up? All right. The other thing I was going to look at, just to see if there's anything of content, because I haven't been to this site in a few days, but it's another one of my favorites. River's Edge Cutlery. Let's look at new first. pins, SEs, and Hinderer clip skinnies. So if you're into Hinderers, they used to be a lot harder to get, I guess, because of the economy. They stick around for a few days now, but I think the Eclipse, the XM18 might be my favorite, but I have an Eclipse too that I love. LT Wright, they had some Frontier Valleys on here the other day. They're probably sold out. I've got a Frontier First, but the Frontier Valley is just a little bit bigger, and they're a very good price for a USA made knife, in my opinion. I love this knife. It's a manual SOCOM Elite. I think they're aggressive looking, cool liner lock. I hate the fact that it's the clip's the way it is, but what are you going to do? You're going to live with it or pass on it. And I haven't bought one, so maybe the clips held me back. And that's just peer pressure, because I don't know why it matters if it's clip up or clip down. I've tried to think about it, and I know people have a lot of different opinions, but I can't think of one being a great advantage over the other. This is also a great Hinderer knife, the Jurassic. It's sized between a 3.5 Hinderer and an Eclipse. No, it's sized between a 3.5 and a 3.0 XM18, but it's a full-sized Hinderer. Ryan Ellis picked up one of these at Blade Show in full tie. It's a great little knife. The Jurassic. But yeah, River's Edge Cutlery's got some cool stuff. Here's a Sparrow from Lynch. An excellent, excellent knife. Comes with a great Kydex sheath. And they don't have this mounted on there. The picture makes it look wonky, but the clip actually mounts right here in the center, so it carries deep. The sheath carries deep. It also comes with a real tech lock if you prefer, but Casey killed it on the Sparrow 7. I'm a huge fan of that knife. I think it's great. It's got a beefy working type blade. You know, it's not the thinnest, sliciest, but it cuts very good. Don't know anything about Hellbender knives except that they look really cool. And I'm sure it's a little bit bigger, 8 3/4. They got a Hellbender 3, I think, that's smaller. But anyway, so that's another place I like to go check knives out is River's Edge Cutlery. Core Edge is a new company. Not familiar with them. Somebody told me, who is this? I mean, they're not cheap. What's the story on Core Edge? Let's see. American made, OTF, blah, blah, blah. Does anybody know who Core Edge is? TS 580. The sheath was bigger than the knife. Really? Dude, I'll send you my sheath. Are you talking about? That little sheath? DM me, because I'm not using. See, I carry mine, Geek Machinist, in a leather sheath, but mine locks in like a beast. The massive pancake. Oh, I see what you're saying. See, but you probably don't carry yours in your back pocket. man, and I know it's for a little knife, it's not worth it, but reach out to 1931 Leatherworks or Lancelot Leather. Oak City Leather's going to be more than the knife. I just happen to have this sheath for my chickadees. And I just love the little knife. So I carry it in here. I had it on an ulti clip and I just carry it in my back pocket. I actually prefer a pancake sheath because I carry them flat in my back pocket. Dude, always go with Joe. Joe's sheaths, I've got several of his, and I love supporting people in the community that we know. Oak City Leather is really nice, but you can't go wrong on either. I always lean towards Joe. The only reason I love Oak City Leather is I'm an immediate gratification guy, and they seem to come a little quicker. What's up, Kyle?
How we doing, buddy?
Happy 4th of July, buddy.
You as well.
You having a good day, my friend?
So. You?
Oh, man, I'm getting through it. I slept late today, which was weird. A rarity for me. But B Shady, you can't go wrong with either one. And I'll tell you, 1931 Leatherworks, Tactical Terry, and he makes clip slips too. Let me go to his Instagram page. I'll put him in the he's making the sheath for my knife that Shane made me. So I'm a big fan of him too. What's going on, Kyle?
Not much, buddy. How we doing?
Just talking about a whole bunch of nothing. Walking through lives and knives.
Very nice.
I showed you Tuesday. You saw my frame lock Neutron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was showing that off for people that didn't come, but just going to show 1931. I think that's how he's in here. So Terry is making really cool sheaths. I don't know. Let me share it. Hold on. It would help if I was sharing. Whoops. So you can make straps for your Kydex sheath, or you can make leather sheaths. He's got some clip slips. Where are they? I was looking somewhere else where I saw this. Shane sent me some pictures of some sheaths with clips built into them. Where would those have been, Kyle? You probably don't know, do you? Does 1931 have an Etsy store or a website that I might be missing?
Check Shane's page down in there.
It might be in there.
That's awesome, Jay. What's up,
How
everybody?
gorgeous is that?
Bill, B Shady, Andrew, Terry, Geek Machinist, Mills, Marco, Space Cuz, Bobo, One Moon. Who else did I miss?
No, it wasn't on Shane's.
Second.
Have you talked to Shane today?
I am not.
Me neither. I sent him a link, but I figured he was out doing 4th of July stuff with the family. Yeah, and there's not much you can do to cut that sheath down unless you're just going to commit to one side. But that's what I find with a lot of the imported sheaths is their kind of afterthoughts. The exception to that was the tenable. So that tenable Parr, the Kansept little knife, it came with a nice little taco sheath and a pocket dropper clip, which is a lot smaller than that guy. It makes a difference. Unfortunately, sheaths are important to the joy that you have carrying the knife. Richard's telling you, hey,
What's up, Richard?
Kyle, you do sound stuffy. Are you feeling all right, buddy?
Do I really?
Well, you sound congested or kind of throaty. Not bad. You just sound like you might be fighting off something.
I was a little bit earlier. I took a nap. I woke up recently, so maybe that's what it was.
Your vocal cords hadn't fully snapped to life yet.
Could be.
That is what it is.
All right, though. Thank you.
Everybody's just looking out for you.
I did have a kind of a shameless plug I wanted to do real quick.
Do it.
I got an opportunity to purchase a knife that I'm interested in, and I showed off some knives the other day that was interested in selling, and I am highly interested in moving them now. So definite bro prices if anyone's.
So you're motivated because you've got something that your eyes on.
Yes.
Let me make you big. Are you about to show some knives?
Yeah, just 2 of them.
All right, I'm gonna make you big.
All right, first one, brand new ATK Halt in purple fat carbon. In the
I can
package.
vouch for that knife. I've handled it at Blade Show. It's very well done.
In the box, brand new, never been used.
Best Texie OEM, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool knife.
What's his name? Lewis.
Lewis, yeah. Shipped. These are 300 new. They still are on the website. The Purple Haze is sold out. These are 300 new. Shipped to your door, 130.
130.
130.
Dudes. And I know you're not taking trades, so I'm not even going to mess your head up.
Yeah. These are sale only because I
Lord Needham, he said 130, $130 for a $300 knife.
Somebody is that right, Needham? I gotta go back and look. Is that right? I can't remember.
Dude, I mean, I know it's not, I mean, 130 seems cheap. Yeah, the Halt is it's like between that 2 and 3 at the least.
And then the second one is the Copperhead PVD Alliance Design Kraken. These were, if it's been used, I got it secondhand, but it looks like it hasn't been used, or if it is, it's like minor.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
These are 4 1/4 new. I would do ship to your door, $220.
Great prices. I just pulled up the Halt, and interestingly enough, I've seen on Instagram that there's a or one of the companies said that there's a knife store out there that's that is fake, and I just had Norton tell me that I'd clicked on a fake link. $300 is what it is. $299 is what the Halt is new. Here it is right here. I don't know if this is the purple carbon fiber. That's my Carta. So the purple carbon fiber is probably more, right?
No, they were at all the same price point. My Cartas and the 2 carbon fiber options. So
it is MagnaCut.
if anyone is interested, hit me up.
Overall length, tactical Terry, it is according to this is the first one. I don't know about the second one. This is the Halt, 7.77 inches, 3.48 inch blade, 4.29 handle, 61 to 63 HRC. MagnaCut.
Geek, no fixed blades currently that I want to move. At least not of any value. So
yeah, those are awesome blades though, dude. I would think, I mean, I'd almost buy that from you, and I don't need to spend the money. The Halt. I mean, that's, and you said, what's the other one called? It was Brian Brown, right?
No, Matthew Christensen.
Matthew Christensen. I'm just pulling it up to show it.
Design.
Huh? What's the name of the knife?
The Kraken.
KR. I'm sure he's got a website, right?
It's on Alliance Design's website.
Oh, Alliance Design's Kraken. Ah.
Yeah, but Matthew's the designer on it.
I got you, dude. I got you. $495.
Thought they were 4 1/4, but maybe, I don't know.
This one's got, I don't know if yours has got a Damascus pivot collar.
No, this one's the Kraken. It's the PVD in copper shred.
Let's see if he's got. This one right here, right? Copper?
Yeah, the copperhead.
450.
Okay, 450.
It is. Let's see. Where'd my specs go? LMAX, right? LMAX blade. It's not giving me dimensions though. Would you say it's bigger than the Halt or about the same size? If the Halt's 7.7 inches.
Slightly bigger.
So it's probably closer to 8 inches.
Yeah, roughly.
Hey guys, this is something that'd be fun to do. Let's definitely get Luke there. Let me pull up his YouTube channel. Fantastic knife designer in his own right. And
Sorry,
awesome guy.
Javon. Sorry about that. I don't like to push stuff, but I just I found something that I would like to snag, but I need to move a little bit of things just to get out of the collection to find something else. So,
dude, that's what this is for. It's a swap meet. You're not pushing anything. You're fine, dude. I think it's awesome. Okay, y'all, let's go sub to Luke right here. Let's see how if we can get him to he is at 982.
Needham, was I right on that, by the way? I can't remember. It's been a while. So hit me up in private chat if I was off.
On which one?
We're talking about a deal that we had done in the past.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I was my buddy A to Z, who I sold my Blitz to, broke one of the milled clips because he left a knife in it for a while he was trying to get that thing Apex I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So I sent him my old clips over and my old little bar that you had to put on it because it was a whole upgrade clip kit, and he got it on, but he liked the mill clips, but you can't find those anymore. And I know somebody's got a set of mill clips, or somebody has got a used set for sale. And I wonder how you would go about finding that. Or I wonder if that upgraded Blitz clip fits on something else. I know they're kind of phasing it out.
Yeah, there was another company that made aftermarket ones. He may be able to source, called Kazak, Kazak.
Kazak.
I don't know if they did Blitz clips or not. I know they did ones for the Cadet and Pioneer and KO3, but I'm not sure if they did Blitz ones. But they had adapters basically.
Kazak USA LLC. Or if that's it.
They're not USA based, but
no, it's not. Yeah, I think this is just a USA website. Is what it's saying.
Need a mount either, and that's why I was guessing, trying to make it fair. So
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the right site. But yeah, let's get Luke 10. Man, that'd be awesome if we could get him some subs. Get him to 1,000. Got a great live stream. I'm sure everybody in here's subscribed to him already. Go, Luke. He'll get there. Needham, we were bragging on your Instagram site earlier, and we were on Terry's earlier too. We were looking at his at the leather sheaths. Y'all are probably in here. Your ears were burning. So it sounds like most of the bombs have stopped here. I'm not hearing tons of fireworks anymore. But I did have something get destroyed in the bedroom by Tippy. Don't know what that was.
Yeah, I had to give some natural drugging treats to mine so he wasn't going complete apeshit.
Yeah, furry. What dogs have a really tough time. Some of them do. Mine used to. I mean, she was terrified.
He's scared of stuff. He's scared of thunderstorms too. But this is
your neighborhood just popping off?
Yeah, I got these one idiots behind me that like to just set off just like industrial strength ones, like right behind their home, and their house is like 50, 60 feet away from the next house next door. I'm just like, damn it.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's not like, I don't have a problem with people doing it. Just A, don't do it at 2 a.m, and B, don't be stupid about it. Like,
Angry Tom says it sounds like a war zone. Yeah, if you're around kids, I used to be that kid. I can't ever complain if it gets loud and crazy around my house because I caused so much of that shit when I was young. And we'd blow up people's shit. I mean, I was a terrible juvenile delinquent. Lord Needham, do you feel like relaxed after you sharpen? I really do. I just feel like I've hit this little gap where I'm having apex issues. And I don't know why.
what do you mean?
Like I've always got a part of the blade that doesn't feel like it's burring. And I'm using just consistent I'm trying just to use the weight of the stone and just, I realize it's thicker, but I just wonder what I could be doing jacking it up. And I'm using my Venise again. And I think it's just as simple as patience that I should think it should be, because part of it's apex. It should all be apex. And I think, well, if I flip it, maybe it'll make it easier.
No. So the key to that is like,
Take care, Lord Needham.
Make sure you're, again, chasing that grit. Use your magnifying glass. And if you have an area that's not apexing, you can work that area only for a little while. Just don't do that like without blending it for like
when you get it apex, blend it all together.
Or even just do it for a while and then blend it, and then do it for a while and then blend it, and back and forth. But you've got to be able to still, and you can use a little bit of pressure if you need to. So you don't feel like you have to only use.
What do you think when you're sharpening a knife? I know you do it enough. You're putting a little pressure on it, right? Just slide.
Yeah. Well, that's why
a little bite in.
I move my system forward and I actually clamp it to my table. Even though this thing's heavy and weighted, I mean, but if I'm actually working on one, or if I'm, especially if I have to cut in a bevel or that kind of thing, that I need to be able to use pressure. So this will be locked down. This is locked down completely. So this thing will not turn at all. That's quite a bit of pressure to get that thing to turn.
Right.
And then it's clamped to the table too. So I can actually bear down a little bit on it.
So is there any downside as long as you're keeping your pressure consistent? Is there any downside to applying pressure?
If your clamps are moving a lot, there is, because then you can potentially be changing that angle.
Right.
But when I have it locked down and I have this part locked down, then this isn't moving up and down.
It's just making a little faster work of your strokes.
Well, it's being able to get a little bit, like if I'm cutting in bevels, it's able to cut a little faster and get a little deeper with each pass. So I don't do it for everything, but if needed, then I definitely will. So,
but like if you get a knife in, is your normal stance to go at it kind of light? Do you ever just go at it with the weight of the stone like people tell you to, or are you always putting a little pressure? Because I always feel like a little pressure is better than just the weight of the stone. Granted, I guess if you go enough passes,
it depends on what it is. And so again, am I following factory angle? If I'm following factory angle, then it's not going to take a lot to cut in, right? If I'm having to lower it, or it's a thick blade and it wants to be lowered, then I've got to remove a lot of material. So then I'm not going to sit there and go light. I'm going to go hard at it.
Right.
So it depends on what I'm doing. Each case is going to be a little bit subjective, but for the most part, so if I have a knife that comes in and it's just staying at factory angle, and I just need to tune it up, it doesn't have any major chips or anything like that where I'm taking material off, then I'll go lighter. The downside to going heavier potentially, depending on the type of stone you have, is you could dish them faster and you could also wear them faster. But if you're using if I'm using hard CBN stones or like that, then it's not going to be nearly as dramatic as it would be if I'm using like a aluminum oxide or ceramic stone or anything like that. So
if you were changing your angle and you were putting pressure, would you only be putting your pressure mainly on that first stone, and then on your other progressions go back to more of a light pressure? Or are you?
Yeah, I mean, your first
pressure?
stone is the one that's cutting and doing most of the heavy lifting. The second stones are just cutting to get rid of the scratch patterns afterwards. So you don't really need any pressure going forward.
You're just then smoothing out your grip patterns as you go through your progression.
Yeah. So your rough cut, your coarse stone is the one that would be putting in any work. So, but yeah, so like if you got, say you got a blade, let me grab something. It's a flat blade. Okay. So say you've got something that's just a basic blade and it's not getting burring from here to here. So like this section here is not burring, but the rest of it is. The heel and the tip are, but just a little bit of the belly's not getting burred up. What I would do is I would just literally work this section for 6, 7, 10 passes and then check it, see if it made any adjustments, and then blend a little bit. If it still needs more work, I would go back, do the same thing, 6 to 10 passes in there.
And then blend a little bit.
And then just keep checking that and then naturally what's going to happen is, so the burr out here and back here is going to start to get a little bit larger as well too, but you're still trying to get
you're focusing your cutting right there where you don't have it yet, and just trying to use the smoothing part so you're not removing excess where you've already got your burr.
Correct. And then at that point you should be able to start getting results and getting it evenly across. And then once you're done with that, then just go over, 5, 6 times with a blending pass to make sure the whole entire thing looks flat.
Yeah, I've got to get better at using my jeweler's loop. I've got to get better at, like, when I get serious, I'll take my light. I need to take my light over there every time. My little bright light that I use for videos that's mobile.
Lighting is key, because sometimes you won't feel it, but you can be able to see the pattern, or you think there's a burr, but it's not technically a burr. That's why I always say having a light source handy.
And your scope, so you can see that scratch pattern is going to make an actual burr.
There's that. And there's also, what we talked about too, is once it's in the clamps, it's hard to see. So I'll take a piece of paper. If this is in the clamps, I'll take a piece of paper, put it underneath there, so that way I can actually see up against that edge better to see if there's a burr on there. Because when it's just like this in ether, you can't really see even with a microscope. So putting a different color there to be able to see the variance.
See, I'd be looking down my edge, going from the heel, and I'd see the little burr, which looks like little phalanges. And then when I'd get towards that belly, I wouldn't see shit. And then when I get up towards the tip, just like you described before, that's how I was dealing with it.
Well, and two is, you can little start to see like you said, like little crust spots or whatever you want to call them. But ideally, you want to try to see if it's a thin line that goes all the way entire the path.
Just like a wire.
And sometimes it's hard to tell if that's the wire or if that is the part of the apex that you've missed. So that's why it's good to put something underneath there to be able to see the difference.
And what you're looking for there is that grip pattern is going all the way to your apex, right?
Correct. So that's why chasing the grit is better than the burr sometimes, because sometimes you can have a light burr, but it's not fully apexed.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, like when Neil was saying he'd been sharpening, or Lord Needham, I love to sharpen. I just feel like I get towards the end impatient. I'm looking more for the results. So I just got to settle into it.
It's not a time issue. It's just you do it till it's right, till it's done. And every night can be different. So, and
it's always going to get there if you take the time and do it. I mean, again, I'm trying to chase close to factory angles. I'm not going low anymore. I used to. On the Blitz, I'd gotten to where I don't know if my edges were that great, but I was pretty efficient with it. And I'm just as efficient with the Pioneer. It's just that I think I need to be sitting different too. I think if I used it at this desk, it would be a lot easier to manage than on my coffee table.
Yeah, you want to be able to be the point where you're not so far above it. It's like I'm here, and this is at like a computer site type of desk with computer chairs, so my arms are pretty much straight out from my body at this point. So that way, when I'm here, I'm not too high or too low of the system.
And you're right, kind of eye level where you need to be.
Yeah, I mean, I do get a little bit of neck pain because you're constantly looking down and trying to look at that, but it's better than if I had it up too high, then my arm would not want to naturally go forward. It would be on an upward angle. So it's weird. So like basically think of being set up for an ergonomic computer desk is the ideal situation.
Right. Right. Congratulations, Neil McKenzie. One day at a time, my brother.
But
yeah, to me, again, sharpening's enjoyable. I enjoy it. I wish I was better at it. And the only way to get better at it is to do it more. So that's why I stay at it. And I like to feel the steel. Like on this, I sharpened this guy just the other night.
Okay.
Just to get the factory edge off of it. And I got it really sharp. I was having it right here at the center, at like about an inch back from the tip is what took me so long. But I was just going with stone pressure, just doing it real lightly.
Well, based on looking at that grind, it looks like it's also considerably thicker at the tip than it is in the belly, which is in a lot.
It is.
So that's going to take a little more time.
Sobek Scooter, what's going on, buddy? Happy 4th of July, my man.
What's up, Scooter? Yeah, wherever it's thicker, it's going to take you longer to get that fully apex than where it's thinner.
Again, it's just a me thing. I've got to be in the right mindset, and I just got to settle into it. Because I really want to I think when I get my first couple of now I can get sharp edges, but not your sharpness. I mean, your level of sharpness is on a totally different level. Like that little second Jack Wolf or Joke Wolf that I've got is, scary sharp. And that Magna Cut Chickadee that's like 3 years old that you sharpened 3 years ago is still scary sharp. But when I get my first one, and that'll be kind of like an epiphany breakthrough.
It just takes practice and technique. And I think I've pretty much at this point shared majority of my secrets. So if anyone just needs to go out and practice and do it.
Execute them. I look at it like taking apart knives in a way. I used to be so uncomfortable taking apart knives. And now I've learned that you really can't mess it up if you do it right. And it's probably the same with sharpening. If you're using, a system that you can keep your angle, or you're good enough to keep your angle by hand, you shouldn't be able to mess it up if you do it slowly and you pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If you don't rush it and you check periodically, you're not going to get to the point where it's messed up so bad that you can't fix it.
Because you're exactly. Good point.
The issue is people will just go ham and then not check it until they're done and be like, oh, this is all screwed up. It's like, well, no shit. You could have fixed that early on if you didn't avoid looking at it.
Right. And just go by feel. Yeah, that's a mistake to just do that. Plus, it's easy to look at it, to take the time and look at it.
Yeah, it's not moving. It's not a track race. You can sit there and take as long as you want or as short as you want, as long as you're getting it done effectively. So, like, I go faster than I ever used to, but I'm sure
your quality's not suffering. You just gotten better at your process
and the feel. So I know exactly what I'm doing as far as, the length of motion and how it feels. So the ability should not be dictated by time. The ability should be dictated by the result. So.
Right. And again, what I asked you, and I think it's kind of hard to pinpoint, is when you get that confidence to just take on any knife. For you, like knives that you sharpen, I look at and I go, ugh. But you've crossed more than just to getting them sharp, bridge. I mean, you know how to get different knives sharp using different techniques, which I think is a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean, but so like there for a while, I was kind of, I wouldn't say I was known for, but I was definitely attributing some of my skills to odd blade shapes because people didn't want to take them on themselves. I mean, they might be able to sharpen, but they didn't want to take on something wild themselves. And I enjoy that because it's a challenge, but it's also, if you take your time, it doesn't matter. You just got to dig your heels in and have confidence to do it, and that you're never going to mess up if you have the confidence and are willing to go slow and try it. Like the first couple times that I've done like wild Tanto recurves and stuff, like I'd never done one before, but you gotta start somewhere and just take it slow and work it until you get the comfort level. And then now it's like, yeah, no problem. Second nature.
I mean, it's definitely a skill that's sought after. And I tried to be a man today and watch YouTube videos on my 22-inch recycler Briggs & Stratton motor, and I'm convinced I could rebuild the carburetor if I had the right tools. What kind of lady man does that make me?
Well, I mean, and if you don't know how to do it, you just got to learn the technique and do it.
Yeah, that's what I've been watching videos. I think I know how to do it, but then I'm faced with, I can get the tools I need for about the same price. I can take it to Dave and have him fix it for. And it would make sense.
Do you know for sure carburetor, or is it just not like a air filter and spark plug? Just a basic.
Yeah, it's the air filter. I did spray some starter fluid in there. I think it's just I've got some clogging in my carburetor. It doesn't have to be rebuilt. I just need to take off that little cap that sits under it and get that congealed shit that gets stuck up in there between seasons. I just don't think that it's getting fuel through the carburetor.
Yours is an old one. Because mine doesn't have that, but mine's like 3 years old.
I think mine's about 3 or 4 years old. It's when you say it doesn't have what, a carburetor on the side?
Yeah, it's got an air filter. It's not a.
Yeah, it's got an air filter. You got to take the air filter off to get to the carburetor. It's got to have a carburetor.
But my point is, their typical maintenance is all you're doing is
changing that air filter.
Like an air filter. It shouldn't be getting clogged and
Well, what they said happened on the videos I watched is over the season, I don't drain mine like an idiot. So my fuel's settling in there.
Right.
So the fuel gets congealed a little bit, and it's not as much that it's particulates that get in that, there's a little core in the, I don't know, I wouldn't know, you didn't know it was there, a little copper thing that sits in the center of the carburetor that's got jets that go out the side that you got to screw out with the screwdriver, and then take a straight pin and clean those out and spray some brake cleaner in it. Again, it sounds too complicated. I mean, it sounds like it'd be.
I tuned mine up this summer.
What's up, Brian?
Having issues starting and yeah, just nowadays, like this one doesn't. You don't even change the oil. You just add oil and then change out the spark plug and air filter, and it runs like it's brand new again. So, well, but I don't winterize either.
Well, I mean, I always think I'm in a more mild climate, but it always gets like I'll have weeks of 17 degrees where it gets really cold. I was going to show you what I want to get. And our buddy, I'm blanking on his name right now. He was living in Washington and just moved to Dallas, Texas.
ENG
has one of these. He's got one of the
robotic ones.
But he's got a Big Daddy. This is an Amazon one. And you just set it in your yard and it cuts.
Yeah. And it's controlled by apps, so you can say when to cut it, and it automatically goes back into its base
little dock, kind of like a Roomba.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're
kind of
the idea is okay. I mean, they're starting to use those commercially now. So they've got some industrial ones where they're being used on courses, on golf courses.
Here's a Husqvarna.
But I mean, but when you start looking at like commercial stuff, I mean, that's dirt cheap. Like, dude, triplexes and rough mowers, those are, you know, $100,000 machines.
Yeah, definitely. I can't remember whose Instagram post it was today, but they ordered a Uber, and it was a autonomous Uber that showed up to get them.
Hell no.
They got in it. It was in, I want to say it was in Dallas. It was on Instagram, but it pulled up and it was just, you know, here you are, and you got in it and it already knew it was taking you.
I want no part of that.
But do you think there's a time when that could be safer than a human that's not paying attention as well, or a human that if it's an autonomous car, it's going to be less likely to make stupid mistakes, you would think?
To a point, but it also has zero common sense as far as it's only going to adjust based upon the parameters put in. So it could decide that, okay, I'm going to stop for this, but I'm not going to stop for that. So in a split-second decision, I'd rather have a halfway decent driver than I would a robot. So, but that's me personally. Not.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of creepy. I mean, I had a Google car. There was a Google car in Huntsville when I lived in South Huntsville. I was still married, that would drive by Google Maps, and it was autonomous. It had nobody in it, which was kind of weird. But you never hear about them getting in wrecks, you know? Richard, I've got some stable fuel in there. Again, and for a while, up until the last time, it would start, and I'd have to let it turn it backwards, because I think it's got maybe some sediment in the tank. It needs work. I think I'm going to take it to the dude. I think I've talked myself out of trying to be a man this time.
Well, if you're not comfortable with it, and it's going to end up costing you more money in the end, just go pay the right amount and get it done right.
Well, the way I look at it, the tools, though, I'd be able to then do it again, because I know I could do it. Because again, I've watched several videos on it, and they're not that many parts, right? It's not anything that I could really break or mess up. And I feel like I need to be able to. What's that?
What tools do you need that you don't have?
Just the basic socket sets.
You could go rent that from AutoZone or something. Let you rent it for a day.
I didn't know that you could do that.
Yeah, a lot of places will rent you tools.
Hands free. That would go good. I'm telling you though, the robotic girlfriend's coming.
Yeah, those are coming, buddy. So, and that's going to be an issue
in terms of populations shrinking.
That and potential divorce rates and all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's going to be it's getting weird. Also, STP gas treatment. That's what happens. It's not as bad where I am, Richard, but it's close. And I think I get humidity that builds up in my tank off season. Maroney, what is up, brother? Good to see you, dude. Make sure you stop by tomorrow at 3, buddy. Robot girlfriend's going to make life perfect. See, Scooter, I was thinking the same thing, because I think everybody needs to expose themselves to a BPD and try to date them for a few years to realize the sanctity of being alone.
Yeah, pretty fun. They got all kinds of stuff that you can rent.
Yeah, I was gonna because when I shot that, that's the first test that they tell you to do, is to take the air filter off, squirt a little starter fluid through that hole that goes to your carburetor, and see if it starts for a second. And that lets you know it's not your spark plug. You know, if then it wouldn't start, then maybe it would just be a bad spark plug.
But hell, a spark plug costs $6. That's not a bad thing to replace.
No, to replace anyway. But my goal is to get the thing running.
I think it's like, and the air filter or something, I mean, it's like under $30. You can get both of them.
Right. But what I don't know, I wish there was something I could spray in that carburetor that would eat that shit out. Because I'm not looking to get it super, I don't want it to be brand new clean like they were doing on the videos. But that's kind of lazy. I should, if I'm going to take it down. I wish there was something I could just add to it. Dude, I'm stoked too. That's what I'm saying. Stop by tomorrow, man. You can win 2 weeks a day. Get a $14 carburetor. Let me do that. Hold on a second. Briggs and Stratton. Briggs. Stratton.
Yeah, I've never had to go that far. I've just done basic.
No, and mine's not that old to where I think I'd. Oh, but that looks just like the damn thing. $15. Holy shit. Dude. This would be easier than rebuilding it or cleaning it out. Or you can get the whole kit. Look at that, dude. For $20, you get the air filter, the spark plug, fuel line, new fuel lines.
Yeah, just make sure
it's the right one.
Model, yeah, because that's a stupid thing. Is so like
that looks identical though.
There are so many models of variations in like different engines from the same company.
Yeah, that are on the same lawnmower.
Right.
So I think my air filter looks exactly like that. I know that's not a distinguisher, but and I'm not seeing my carburetor yet because I haven't gotten through it. It's on the other side of that plastic. But yeah, that would probably be better than this is what it looks like, the metal one. Briggs and Stratton. I think that's it. That's the actual carburetor. Nope, it's got a different filter. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to pack it up and take it to Dan. I don't know what he'll charge, but he's got a workshop and he evidently does it every day. But yeah, you can tell some of these are different. Like that's a different cover. That's the exact same one.
Also, this is going to sound kind of silly for you, but double check too your the undercarriage of the motor that it's not caked in there.
I checked that.
Okay.
I checked that.
That can make it idle rough and run a little rough too.
Yeah, I can't get it to turn over. You know, that's what the trouble I'm having with it right now. And it used to always be this season. It's been temperamental, but the last 2 times I've tried, I've actually had to get somebody to cut my yard. So because I've been putting it off. Yeah, I mean, I think that looks like I didn't even know they were available, Pretty Fly. I mean, that would be so much better than taking that jet system out of the existing carburetor to clean it out, put it back together, than just get a new one. No, it doesn't start and die. It used to start and die. And then I'd have to get it running for a while, which made me think it was the gas. But now it doesn't start. And I just put fresh gas in it and drained it. But I'm just unfortunately not as handy as I should be. I should be more handy. But
you're only handy if you actually do it on a regular basis and know how to and tried it. I mean, if you've never done it, then that's not
right. But that's my fault for not ever engaging in it sooner. I kind of feel like I should have. Granted, we didn't have the internet when I was kind of at that developmental stage to learn shit like this, and I didn't have a very my dad always took the lawnmowers to Hill Brothers and stuff like that. He was not big into fixing stuff. Not his fault, but I just wasn't around it. I don't blame him because I'm not much into fixing stuff, but I'd like to be able to fix stuff.
Ryan, if you don't get a good gift, you're not going to get one anymore.
What did Ryan say? Yeah, it's fired up here again. Use StarTech in your fuel tank at the end of each session. Good idea. Let me see what that is. Because I mean, I've got a good lawnmower. It's self-propelled. It does a great job, but it's just not doing its shit now. And I'll go out there and I'll get so frustrated.
I had the one prior to this mower lasted, I want to say 12 years, 13 years. And the only thing I ever had to do was get the blade sharpened, and it was a Honda. It worked great. Now I've got a Toro. It's only a couple years old.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for an easy starting lawnmower. I need to order some more starter fluid. There is a lot of live resin. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, Geek Machinist.
My next door neighbor's got one of those
Absolutely, Sobex.
Battery powered mowers, like the rechargeable ones. Like, I don't know what the name brand she got. Might have been like a
Ryobi, probably
something like that. And it's so weird sounding.
Does it give her enough charge to cut her yard?
Yeah.
Because when I first got divorced, I lived out in a little kind of a planned community where I had smaller yards, and I had an electric lawnmower that I would plug in, and the cord would follow me around, which was kind of a pain in the ass, but it worked good. I mean, the blades didn't seem to have as much torque, but it did fine. It was quiet. But the cord was a pain in the ass. That's why I always thought a cordless would be the way to go if it had enough power to run it. I was at Costco Tuesday at the pharmacy and was walking out, and it was funny. There was a return there that was one of the battery powered lawnmowers, and you could tell somebody bought it just to cut their grass because it was covered in grass.
Yeah. Pretty fly. Yes. This was prior to me sharpening, and second of all, I'll never do it again because I didn't have a balancer, so I was trying to figure it out by hand, and that is just a nightmare. I'll never do it again. Hell, for the $20 or $25, I'd rather just go buy a brand new blade than spend the time doing it.
Then sharpening?
Yeah.
Foam, fuel treatment. What's this stuff look like? Interesting. Scotty, it is noted, buddy. I found it. Starts first pull. Also had to fix my on and off lever. See, and there's not that many moving parts. I mean, it's not something that's beyond what I know I'm capable of doing. It's just when I look at the time to gather the tools, what I wish I'd just taken it out to him. I don't know.
Henry.
I wouldn't learn. I'm not going to learn if I take it out to him.
Henry, that's what I do. I end up just using it in the fall because I bag. So
Henry G, that's very true. Or drain it at the end of the season.
I use it for leaves. I'll mulch leaves with it.
Very cool. My dad used to use a file and sharpen ours when I was at home. I can remember him taking that off and doing it.
The key is you got to have a balancer though, because if you don't have the balancer, then it actually cuts worse because it wobbles and it won't be the same.
Well, I'm sure he was making shitty edges on it, but what's the balancer do? It keeps it.
It keeps
so
it.
It's got to be.
So you're basically when it gets mounted back again, it's going to create the same path, so it's cutting evenly.
Ah. Ryan's on top of it. He strikes me as the kind of guy who'd keep his shit maintained, running good. E-Marks are great mowers. They used to advertise with me when I was digital manager. They had a pretty big campaign. A place called Frederick's Outdoors. Sharpen my blades with a flat disc grinder, balance on my finger or a nail.
Well, you're a wild man, pretty fly. I don't deal with that crap. Like I said, for the $20, $25 it is, I'd just go rather spend the time to go buy a blade than a brand new blade than sharpen it.
I wonder how those blades are heat treated and what they're made out of. I wonder if even people care that make mowers.
They're not that great. I mean, they work, but they're not. They'll chip easy, like if you hit decent sized branch and that kind of stuff. But
what would be the ideal blade steel for a mower blade? I mean, you would think you'd want something stuff like would a 3V blade be good?
No, I mean, I would say something along the lines of, well, I mean, maybe, but you have to keep on top of it for corrosion. I mean,
Right.
you do something along the lines of, you could do MagnaCut. But I was thinking probably it depends upon what it's being used for. So like there are different types of blades, and you've got like a triplex mower is cutting super low, and it's going back and forth on an angle.
Is that like on a green, like a fairway?
Yeah. So those mower blades are different than anything else. What's up, Kevin? So I mean, would that be dependent upon what?
So that a blade like that, you'd want maximum sharpness retention, right? Edge retention on something that was more detailed like that, or not?
No, because something like that is
That's true, Scotty. You don't want it to shatter.
It's being maintained a lot. I mean, like on my crew, we had a full-time mechanic that all he did was work on sharpening lines up there, maintenance of the stuff, because that is most of the time what you're doing is you're leasing those items, and you're going to get them like on a 5-year lease. So you can have some wear and tear, but you don't like if you pop a hydraulic line or something like that. I mean, that will absolutely just destroy grass, and then you're screwed for the rest of the year. So you've got to have a really good maintenance schedule, and that's why you have someone there full time doing that.
Yeah, that makes sense, Geek Machinist, and pretty flawed. If you hit something hard, you don't want it to shatter. Yeah, that would be horrible. Having shrapnel go into your ankles. Yeah, and Todd, what's gotten hard is there used to be a station here in Huntsville that all the landscapers went to that had a pump that was ethanol free, but I've not been able to find one in Huntsville. I'm sure they're here. It's just not close to me. But yeah, watching those videos today made me want to tackle it. I almost went out and started taking it apart, but I couldn't find my little socket set. So I think I only need a 10mm socket and just a couple other little things. Startron removes the ethanol from gas. How close are we to said faction?
15 minutes. So
Star. Spell that for me. Star what?
TRM.
Tron. Enzyme fuel treatment. Startron. Yeah, it's got enzymes in it. So it looks like you put it in your fuel and it eats the I just have a feeling all this is good stuff. I've got a feeling that I've got a clog. Starting in 9 minutes, 9 minutes on their screen. All right, guys.
It's early night, so let's bounce.
We've been going for 3 hours. I love each and every one of you. Have a fantastic rest of your 4th of July. Thanks for stopping by. Channel members stop by tomorrow at 3 just for a second. Don't have to be here long. It'll be worth it. I love each and every one of you. Kyle, you got anything to talk about? Kyle's got a great deal on his Halt and on his Alliance. So if anybody's looking for a cool knife, reach out to Kyle. Best place to get you is on your Klingenwek Instagram, or do you check both?
Yeah, no, Klingenwek.
Gotcha. All right, dude. Love you, Kyle. Love you guys. See you over at Stevie's. Peace.
Went out because we only had a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes?